We've all experienced the frustration of making a simple request, only to have the person we're talking to do something else entirely. It's a moment where the listener completely misunderstands the outcome you were looking for. While we often assume these breakdowns happen because we didn't provide enough detail, the issue usually starts much earlier, with the choice of these three words: a, an, and the. Rather than just being grammar rules to memorize, articles function as navigational markers. As this map pin suggests, they set the scene for the listener, signaling exactly how they should categorize the noun that follows. This chart illustrates semantic intent. Semantic intent refers to the underlying meaning or purpose a speaker conveys. By choosing a specific marker, you tell the listener whether you are referencing a general, interchangeable concept or a distinct, unique entity. Mastering these markers moves a speaker away from hoping they are understood and toward a clearer alignment between their message and the listener's response. We start with unspecific requests, those moments where the exact identity of the item doesn't matter yet. This is the oneness principle. As shown here, the markers A and an act as numerical markers that mean exactly one. The choice between them isn't about spelling, but about how the words sound. These curves show how a or an is selected to create a smooth vocal transition from the article to the next word. Because these markers strictly mean one, they can't be used to describe plural groups. Applying a or an to multiple items is a logical error that can confuse the listener. To talk about a general category in the plural, we use what's called the zero article, essentially using no marker at all. This null symbol signals that we are referring to the group as a whole. Whether you use a, an, or no article at all, you are signaling to the listener that any available item within those parameters is an acceptable outcome. But communication often requires a level of exactness that general categories can't provide. For these moments, we use the. This visual shows how it acts as a pointer to isolate specific targets, whether you are talking about one item or a specific group. Using the implies that you and the listener already share an understanding of which entity is being discussed. This graphic represents that prior identification, the assumption that the listener knows exactly which item you mean. The difference is practical. A bicycle means any bike will do, but the red bicycle isolates one specific item and excludes all others. This reliance on shared knowledge is why communication fails if the listener doesn't actually know which item you're referring to. If that shared context isn't there, the becomes a source of confusion rather than precision. To communicate more effectively, we can move from following individual rules to using a more consistent strategy. This matrix maps out how intent changes based on specificity and quantity. Every choice, including the choice to use no article, changes how the listener interprets your request. Choosing the wrong quadrant leads to errors. Asking for a report when you need a specific document creates a gap between request and result. By contrast, asking for the report signals the listener to identify exactly what is required, ensuring an efficient outcome. To recap the tactical rules, use a or an for new single items, use the zero article for broad plural groups, and use the when you and the listener share specific knowledge of the item. By using these small markers with more intent, you ensure that your listener's actions consistently align with what you actually mean to say.